Have you ever stopped to think about the energy that powers our entire world as a kind of buried treasure? Like a massive treasure chest, hidden deep inside the Earth that's been slowly filled up over hundreds of millions of years. Well, today, we're going on an adventure. We're going to uncover the incredible story of this limited, amazing bounty. So, grab your gear, because we're about to dive deep into the Earth's most valuable and maybe most controversial treasure chest.
And that really brings us to the biggest question of our whole quest, doesn't it? Can we just keep opening this treasure chest forever and ever? Are the contents totally limitless? This is the one question we have to answer as we figure out what these resources are, where they came from, and what using them really means for our future.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this treasure, we first got to understand that not all of Earth's gifts are created equal. In nature's huge inventory, resources fall into two totally different buckets. You can think of it like we're sorting the treasure into two piles, one that just magically refills itself, and another one that, well, once it's gone, it is gone for good.
So on one side, you've got your inexhaustible resources. These are the gifts that just keep on giving, right? Like endless sunshine or the air we breathe. But then, on the other, more tricky side, we have the exhaustible resources. These are the ones that have an expiration date, the ones we can actually, truly use up. And this is the pile where our main treasure, all that coal, petroleum, and minerals, sits.
Now check this out. This popcorn analogy really just nails the problem. Imagine a big tub of popcorn represents all the exhaustible stuff on Earth. You can see how that popcorn disappears faster and faster and faster with each new generation. It's not just that more people are eating, it's that the rate we're consuming it at is speeding up like crazy. It's the perfect way to see how a growing population puts this insane pressure on our limited treasure chest.
So what do we actually call these specific, exhaustible treasures that are so important? Well, they've got a special name, fossil fuels. And it's a perfect name, really, because they were literally formed from the dead remains, the fossils, of living things from a world that existed long, long before any of us were around.
Our treasure hunt is going to start with the first great fossil fuel, coal. It's hard, it's black, and yeah, it looks like a boring old rock, but its story is absolutely incredible. Think of it like we're unearthing the bones of a giant, ancient forest.
And this transformation, it didn't happen overnight. Not even close. We have to rewind the clock 300 million years. Just picture it. The Earth is covered in these dense, swampy forests. Then, things like floods come along and bury these massive forests under layers and layers of soil and rock. As they sank deeper and deeper, the pressure and the temperature just skyrocketed, slowly cooking and compressing all those dead plants into the stuff we now call coal.
This unbelievably slow process actually has a scientific name: carbonization. The best way to think about it is like a giant geological pressure cooker. Over millions of years, that intense heat and pressure squeezed out pretty much everything but the carbon, leaving us with this dense, energy-packed rock. So really, coal is just concentrated, ancient fossilized carbon.
But the treasure of coal isn't just about burning it for heat. No, when we process it, we unlock a whole new layer of riches. We get something called coke, which is almost pure carbon, and it's essential for making steel. We get coal gas, a super powerful industrial fuel. And then we get coal tar, a thick, black liquid that is basically a chemical wonderland.
And get this, that sticky black stuff, coal tar, it's a mix of about 200 different substances. It's the starting ingredient for making dyes, perfumes, plastics, paints, even those little naphthalene balls people use to keep moths away from clothes. It's just an amazing example of how this ancient treasure is woven into our modern lives in ways we don't even think about.
All right, our treasure hunt is far from over. Let's trade in those ancient forests for the vast, ancient oceans. We're leaving the solid treasure of coal behind, and now we're diving deep for a liquid prize, a substance so valuable it earned itself a legendary nickname.
So the story of petroleum is a lot like coal's, but the main character is totally different. Instead of giant forests, we're talking about tiny little organisms that lived in the sea. As they died, their bodies sank to the ocean floor and they got buried under sand and clay. Then, over millions of years, with no air, that immense heat and pressure transformed all those organic remains into petroleum and natural gas.
And its importance, you just can't overstate it. This dark, oily liquid is literally the lifeblood of the modern economy. Its value is so immense that it's famously called black gold. And you know what? It's the perfect name for a treasure that has built nations and really defined our modern era.
When we refine this black gold, that's when the treasure chest truly bursts open. I mean, just look at this stuff. It's basically a map of our modern world. From the LPG that cooks our food, to the petrol in our cars and the diesel in our trucks. It gives us kerosene for jet fuel, paraffin wax for candles, and even bitumen for paving our roads. Our world literally runs on this stuff.
So, we found this incredible treasure, right? It powers our lives, it gives us countless materials. But, every great treasure story has a twist, a warning. And our reliance on these fossil fuels, it comes with a kind of hidden curse, a heavy price that we're only now really beginning to understand.
So here's the part that just blows my mind. It took hundreds of millions of years of geological work to create these fuels, and we are on track to burn through all of it in just a few centuries. An immense, unimaginable creation period, and a terrifyingly short period of use before it's all just gone.
And the problem isn't just that we're going to run out. Burning these fuels has some really serious consequences. It's a huge cause of air pollution, which hurts our health and damages the environment. And their use is directly linked to global warming, because all that carbon that was locked away for millions of years is being released back into the atmosphere.
Look, this is a serious challenge, for sure, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. Now that we know the true nature of our treasure, both how valuable it is and what it costs us, it means we can start to make smarter choices. Our path forward is all about being better guardians of what we have left.
And a lot of the solutions can start with us, with really simple, practical tips. Things like driving at a constant, moderate speed, switching off the engine when you're stopped at a light or just waiting, making sure your tires have the right amount of air pressure, and, of course, keeping your vehicle regularly maintained. These little actions, when millions of people do them, don't just save fuel and money, they cut down on pollution and help make the treasure last longer for everyone.
Man, we have been on quite a journey, right? From ancient swamps to deep seas, uncovering the whole story of our planet's buried treasure. So, for our final challenge, let's see if we can lock in what we've learned with a couple of key questions.
All right, first question. Why do we put fossil fuels in that specific bucket of exhaustible natural resources? What makes them so different from something like, say, sunlight?
And the answer is right there in their origin story. They're exhaustible because they take millions and millions of years to form, under conditions that we just can't recreate in a lab. We are using them up infinitely faster than they were ever made, and the amount that's actually in Earth's treasure chest is finite. It's limited.
Okay, last one. Let's go all the way back to the story of coal. What was that key scientific word for that slow, high-pressure process that turned ancient forests into solid fuel?
That's the one, carbonization, the giant geological pressure cooker that created coal. It's a good reminder that the treasure we use so quickly was the result of incredible amounts of time and force. Understanding this whole story isn't just about science, it's about understanding our responsibility. The treasure chest is real, but it is not bottomless. And now, the big question isn't just what's left in the chest, but what kind of world we're going to leave behind when it's empty. How we choose to answer that, well, that's going to write the next chapter of our story.